Hi guys, welcome back to Hairdryer Treatment. Soph and Meg are back with a cool down. I mean, Meg, firstly I'll ask how you are, and then we're going to get in and talk about that game. And yeah, I'm not quite sure where to start with that one, but we got the win, and we said we hope we'd be smiling afterwards, and we are smiling because we got the win. But firstly, how you doing, mate?
Hiya, thanks for having me back on. I'm quite loving the fact that we've come back for another cool down, so thank you for having me on. I'm all right. If you are here, and I always say this because Sophie never says it at the start of the show, and she should do, but if you are here and you're new, then you should subscribe and you can like the video for us.
Yeah.
I'll get that in because you always never say it at the start, and you should. So I'm putting it in for you.
You remind me.
I'm assisting you on this one.
You said like Bruno's assist today. We'll get into that one in a minute, but yeah, Meg, 3 points. That's the most important thing coming from this. And I mean, first half in particular, it was a tough watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a slow first half. Not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and say we were amazing. No, it wasn't a great first half from us, but like you just said, it's an important 3 points, and especially all of the top four have won. So to keep ourselves in contention, you've got to be picking up points. So I'm glad that we didn't drop any points. And it's kind of like because of the Chelsea and Liverpool score this weekend as well, it was even more crucial that we confirm our spot in that top four. Yeah. But yeah, first half was a difficult watch.
It was. I was getting through some of the comments here. Kian says that Zebra's top really suits you, Meg. So a little compliment for you in there.
Maybe white's my colour. That there you go.
Yeah. So poor in the first half. This has become a worry. Yeah, it is a pattern, isn't it? We do seem to be a second half team, and I'm not saying that we were brilliant in the second half either. I still thought we were poor, if I'm honest with you. But like I said, the result was the more important thing. My friend Jay, who's a massive Newcastle fan, is in the chat, says Bruce out.
Yeah. Just on a Newcastle point of view, something's got to change there because the way they're going, well, they're only going one way, aren't they? So from a Newcastle point of view, I actually don't mind Newcastle. You know, like those teams that you don't mind in the Premier League. We know you don't like Burnley, so like it's the complete opposite end of the scale for me. Like Newcastle for me, I'd hate to see them drop out of the Prem, but the way they're going right now, there's not much positivity around that ground.
Yeah, like Genius was talking about like Newcastle. This is the last 5 games, like something has changed with the player. And I'm thinking I've watched them for about the last 5-6 games, and they've been absolutely awful. But to know, like, it wasn't a surprise. We said on our stream in the week that this will be like a cup final to Newcastle. They will come at us. They will come out the blocks. That rivalry, obviously, back in the day, always makes us feel a bit uneasy as United fans. And Newcastle were definitely up for it tonight, weren't they? Especially in that first half as well. They looked dangerous.
Yeah, I think in terms of the way that we played, and especially in that first half, we could have done better against them. They kind of not rode their luck a little bit. Like we just didn't really create anything, but I just thought that we could have been better, and I feel like they were kind of blocking us out of it for a long period of the time, like that, especially in that first half. I wasn't surprised when they scored because they obviously saw that weakness in set pieces of us defending them, and kind of the way that they were putting the balls in. I just don't understand how we only left one defender against 3 players and just allowed them to cross the ball into the box.
What's your thoughts on that? Obviously, Maguire gang, as we keep saying. I saw some people on Twitter saying it was Maguire's fault for the goal. For me, it wasn't. Yes, I agree. And Scholes, you said it as well. He has got to head it into a better area, but it wasn't the easiest of headers. But it's how we react. It's like we're so slow to react to everything, aren't we?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like he didn't head it into a great place, but he was still the first player to be on the end of the ball. Now, if you are heading it, if you're the first player to get contact with it, it's about what everyone else does. Everyone else has got to anticipate where that's dropping, and I'm fed up of seeing Newcastle players on this instance getting to the ball first. It happened in the second half again. I think Maximus felt the same player had another strike. But why aren't we anticipating that? As soon as that ball comes in, from a defensive point of view, I speak on as a centre half. If I'm making initial contact with that, I expect players around me to be anticipating where that ball's going to drop. And why aren't we clearing our lines? Get yourself out to that player wherever it's dropping and go and put pressure on the ball. He literally, there was no pressure. He hit it straight into the ground and it's gone straight over the top of De Gea. But yeah, it's disappointing to watch in terms of defending like that.
Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. Shout out to Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. After they beat us last season, he's been He said he'd like seeing us suffer. Who's suffering now? Mid-table. Exactly. Obviously, we've got to keep an eye on our own performances and getting these results, because we said, Meg, we don't want to fall into this top four contention. Obviously, Leicester went up to second earlier, and it was important that we bounce back almost, isn't it? It's important that when we've been late kickoffs in the past, we've seen other teams around us do the job, and then we've struggled. Today it was about getting over the line, wasn't it? And like I said, the performance was not the best, but the fact that we've got the result in the end of it. And can I just mention Daniel James as well? I am so happy for him, by the way. He scored again, but I thought his general game, I said the other night, and I was obviously wrong, that if he played off here, that he'd kind of get cancelled out and they wouldn't have the space to run to. But I thought he was one of our brightest looking players today, if I'm honest, Meg.
Yeah, I mean, I said it as well, that I didn't think this would be the game for him. I thought because Newcastle would sit back, there wouldn't be too much space for him. But he's just got that hard work and the enthusiasm to just keep going throughout the game. I'm so glad, because I feel like at times when he shoots, they're not the greatest shots, but he controlled it and literally drilled it in. And I think that'll do him wonders. I loved Rashford's goal as well, that little piece of skill. I think the goalkeeper could probably have done. I think he could have done better, but you'll take it. For both players, it's just a confidence thing again.
Yeah. Obviously midfield we went Matic in there. McTominay wasn't up to it. What's your thoughts on that? Me watching it, I was pulling my hair out. I was thinking we need a few more attacking players on the pitch. We felt all too safe in that midfield, too sideways, a bit slow. I kind of wanted an injection of something different. And Martial, I saw on Twitter as well, having a lot of stick, by the way, for his performance tonight. It was poor, like, to say the least. Martial was poor tonight. And I thought when Greenwood came on, to be fair, he looked hungry. He was obviously keen to get a goal, but it just gave us a bit more edge. Like, I don't know, Martial at the minute, it's not clicking for him. But are you worried now, Meg, for him if this continues? Like, a lot of people are saying he won't be here next season.
I feel like we're starting to really see that Martial isn't the number 9 that we want him to be. He's the left-winged player that he wants to play. And Rashford's there. And at the moment, Rashford isn't going to be being dropped, because the way that he's playing, we said this the other night, even when he plays at 80%, he was scoring and assisting. He's got another goal tonight. So I think Rashford's claiming that left-hand spot. But because we've got someone like Cavani now, who we look at as a true number 9, Martial's just not that same player. And I think that's why he's suffering a little bit. He's not up to that standard of Cavani for a number 9. I don't know whether I'd play him out wide, because I wouldn't drop Rashford, and I wouldn't want to move then Rashford to the right. So it's do you drop him and then just bring him onto a wing?
The interesting thing, Martial, you say he's better on the left. How many times have you seen him out on the left as well? And we thought, no, maybe he needs to get through the centre to get more of the ball. Like, he's almost like an in-between player, isn't he? And we've said it a lot, his ability. Like, he had, to be fair, he even had one moment today where he cut onto his right foot and had that effort, and Darlow saved it. But at the moment, it's just confidence, his shot. You can see his body language doesn't look the best. I mean, you saw Callum Hudson-Odoi get took off by Tuchel in the game the other day because his attitude didn't look right, or his body language didn't look right. Martial at the minute, I don't know if it's confidence or whatever it is, but he's struggling. Connor's just said there, can you please talk about Fred shooting? Christ on a bike, it's bad. Like,
there's not much to say about it.
Tweet on Twitter, it really made me laugh. I shouldn't laugh, but it did make me laugh. And he said something like, if Fred shot Tupac, he'd still be alive now and making bang. And that for me sums up Fred shooting. So whoever did that tweet, obviously go and check it out. I can't remember the name of it, but it made me laugh. But yeah, it's like Freddy Krueger, isn't he, when he's defending, because like players fear him because he doesn't leave you alone. But then when he gets further up the pitch, he turns into Fred Flintstone, and I've said that a lot. Like, he can't shoot, Meg. Do
you know what, this midfield duo, the more defensive minded ones? Now, I think Fred's better as a Matic player. So you've got Matic as a CDM. Fred's better position is CDM, and then McTominay is better where Fred was playing tonight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think the first half they played 2 square, like next to each other on the same line, and I just felt like if you'd got McTominay instead of Fred in that same position, McTominay would have given you a little bit more going forward. And then Fred in the Matic position, because Fred's slightly quicker than Matic, but never mind his shooting, by the way. Can we talk about his passing? Like, he literally kicked the ball out just off the pitch twice.
Yeah, Jesus, I don't know what he saw there. Like, I remember that one. He just played it out. Right.
He played it twice. He literally just kicked it off the pitch. I was just watching like, where have you passed that to? Like the advertising board's just round. He's like, oh, I'll just give it to them for. I just didn't get it, but yeah, I think for me, Fred sits as a CDM. McTominay sits next to him as a box to box.
Yeah. Martial hasn't got floating in. I apologise, it was an echo, guys. I've got a bit of an echo here, so I do apologise. I'll sort that out. But it looks brilliant when things are going well. Do you think that's what it is? Is it a confidence thing with Martial? Do you believe that he will click back into form and it'll work out for him?
I think as a striker, you do play on confidence, and I think that this is not just Martial. This is just strikers in general. I feel like if you can really tell the difference, when a striker is doing what he's on the pitch to do, which is score goals. And I think with Martial, the longer it kind of goes on, the more difficult it is, and you can kind of see that he's not playing with confidence. I think he he was too predictable in terms of what he was kind of trying to do. In terms of
wasn't it?
and like just trying to turn with it, or it just wasn't fluid from him. But yeah, what do you do with a player like that when they're low on confidence? Do you drop him, or do you just keep allowing them to have a go?
I fully expect when Cavani comes back in that Martial will come straight out the starting lineup and he'll start. Whether Martial is moved on to that left and Rashford right, that's obviously yet to happen. But Mason Greenwood at the minute, I think he looks a player who's, even though he's not been scoring, to be fair, he looks confident. And like I mentioned, when he came on, I thought he looked really, really sharp. He looked up for it. And he just gave us that, I don't know, that freshness up front. It felt a bit flat, didn't up front. You mentioned Martial, it felt a bit slow, a bit, I don't know, timid at times. He had that one little run where he cut onto his right and had a shot and he saved it. But other than that, yeah, it was frustrating nonetheless to watch him. I'm sure he was frustrated playing in that as well. As Josh said, please do hit that like button, guys. I'd really, really appreciate that. Nippon Donny, whether he started or wouldn't started today, he was injured anyway, so regardless, he couldn't play. Bringing Haaland over Martial. I mean,
did you see Haaland's goal yesterday?
It seems like a stupid question, but would you like Haaland at United? And then I was going to get on to that goal assisted by Sancho the other day. Wow.
On the Sancho and Haaland, no, we're just going a little bit off topic right now, but have you seen the interview with Sancho?
The accent.
And the accent. There's got to be some sort of inside joke here. Haaland's a character as well, and I feel like he's literally stood next to him. He don't crack a smile at anything. He's so serious face. But yeah, Haaland, he's young, kind of fits the mold of the players that we kind of bring in at times, doesn't he? That young, raw talent. Yeah. He would be top talent to have in our ranks. But yeah, completely off subject, sorry, because we should be doing cool down and we're looking at players to bring in.
To be fair, it was a goal to be admired. But yeah, that accent does make me laugh. It reminds. Do you remember Joey Barton was in Marseille when he was trying to?
Yeah, that French accent.
That's what it reminds me of. But like you say, it does seem like it could be like some kind of Beto or something. But Haaland's face is so straight next to him, like it doesn't seem like there's a joke going on. But yeah, it's bizarre, definitely. Maguire been tenting this weekend?
I presume you're talking about this. This is my kids' tent that we've had up for the weekend.
Kids
yeah.
tent. Yeah, in terms of the players today, I mean, Luke Shaw I thought had a solid game again, but defensively, I don't know about you, Meg, especially when we're trying to play out from the back, like my heart is in my mouth. Like playing out from the back gives me a heart attack. I hate seeing us trying to pass out from the back because no one looks comfortable on the ball. I'd say Luke Shaw probably looks the most comfortable on the ball at the back.
And we're playing against a team like Newcastle. Like in a couple of weeks, we've got some hard games coming in, and they're just
next 3 games.
Yeah, the Europa League game, I feel like not foot off the gas for that, but perhaps a little bit of rotation. But when we play out from the back, we're going to be playing against teams that have got better players that will probably be a little bit more organised and press higher.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we've just got to realise that it's just got to go long and release the pressure a little bit. I'm not saying just lump it forward all the time because that's not how we play, but we put ourselves under a little bit of pressure. The first half, De Gea just passed it to the edge of the 18-yard box to one of their players.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary to watch at times.
It is terrifying. And to be fair, Newcastle pressed high. Obviously, that was their plan to try and win the ball, high up the pitch, and they did it on many occasions. So Maximum got his goal. We said that he was a threat and he scored. I don't know about you, Meg, but I thought you kind of scuffed that. Like, I thought you got kind of lucky, like hit it into the floor and it bounced up. Obviously, I think, was it Scholesy who said that De Gea should have done better with that? Do you feel like that was the case?
sometimes hitting it into the ground and miss hitting it gives the keeper less of a chance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes it just takes them, it's like an unexpected thing, but it's more worrying the fact that we didn't get out to him than where De Gea was, or they didn't save it. For me,
Yeah,
that's why we should have been improving, not just on De Gea.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. But I mean, we've said in the past we would rather see us concede goals as long as we outscore them the other end attackers, best form of defence, and we went on and we did that in the second half. Rashford's goal, you've already mentioned it. I thought Rashford looked a threat for us. I know he can be frustrating at times, but I do think he was a constant threat for us tonight. And he had Kraft on toast all night, by the way. I just want to add that on there as well. He did not know which way he was turning, what day it was, what was going on. Like, he had him inside out, didn't he? But we're going to go through the player ratings, guys, and obviously get involved in the chat as well and let us know. I haven't written down the players that have played today, so I need to try and memorise it. So, yeah, let's go. David De Gea in goal. A lot of people thought Henderson might get the nod, but we said in our stream that we felt that De Gea would still stay. And he made a few decent saves, to be fair, Meg. People saying he was at fault for the goal. I don't fully believe that. I think, like I say, he scuffed it upwards when it was a bit of an awkward one. And like you say, I think it was more the reaction from the defenders that was concerning rather than that. And obviously the header from Maguire, I do believe it should have been better and in a better area, but at the same time we should be reacting to that. We should be the first reacting to it, and we weren't. So David De Gea, Meg, in the chat there's a few people putting, there's a 6 there, there's a 7, another 6 for De Gea. Ryan said a 5 if he said his kicking is awful. Distribution does worry me at times with De Gea, but defensively I've already mentioned it, the back four, De Gea included in that as well, passing out from the back, like, yeah, it's terrifying to watch. Looks so shaky. We do not look confident at all, and I do think De Gea is in that bracket. I'm Blues gone with a 9. It's a bit high considering there wasn't a clean sheet, I will say, but I do think he had some decent saves, Meg, to be fair. What do you think?
Yeah, some solid saves in that game. There were some shots in there that, if you didn't get down quick enough. No Prosecco tonight, save, sorry.
Apple juice tonight.
Sunday night vibes, no.
Apple juice.
Yeah, I think there were some solid saves in there. Saves that he should be making, but he still had to make them. Do you know what I mean? Like if they'd have gone in, it would have been a terrible mistake, but he had to make them. His kicking wasn't great, like I mentioned, the one on the edge of the 18-yard box, but I don't think the goal was hit like 100% his fault. I'd probably give him a 6.5.
Yeah, I think that's fair, to be fair. I think if he'd got a clean sheet, you'd probably push him higher than that. But yeah, I think a 6.5 or a 7. I would even go towards the 7. I thought he made some decent saves. Yeah. Someone said cider. You mean if that is cider? That's I think the flattest cider I've ever seen in my life. It's apple juice. But yeah, I thought he had a decent game. I think above average, you would say. But we couldn't really push him too high because they're not keeping that clean sheet, and I totally agree with that. Juan Mata then, right back, Meg. What did you think he did any good today? How would you rate him?
I think he did okay again. I don't think he was our best player on the pitch. The battle between him and St. Maximin, I quite liked watching that because obviously for them, probably one of their most influential players, and for us, defensive masterclass at times off Juan Mata. There was a point where St. Maximin literally sent Dan James completely to the shops. But then if you watch it the replay showed it on a slow motion, and I was just literally watching Juan Mata's face, and his eyes do not move off the ball. And I say this all the time. If you want to know how to tackle, watch Juan Mata.
Yeah,
I need some apple juice. I'm choking.
To be fair though, what I would say with Genius mentioned it in commentary as well. Even though St. Maximin scored, and we were saying how much we feared him, if we gave him space, like we could have a torrid time at the back with him. It didn't really cause a torrid time, did it? Like we kept him fairly quiet. Other than the goal that he scored, it didn't really have much influence on the game.
No, and I think that's down to the fact that battle was quite good between them. It wasn't like it just wasn't a game where he had loads of attacking to do or loads of defending to do. It's just quite, I'm going to say like an average, but not just like because he was poor, just because there wasn't much really. I think when we attack, we tend to attack down our left-hand side as well. I'd probably give him a 6.5.
6.5 again?
Yeah.
I agree with you on that one. I think above average game, like you say. A clean sheet.
On that goal, I can't really remember who's closest to St. Maximin, but obviously Maguire heads it to the back post. So if it is Wan-Bissaka at the back post, I think he should have closed it down quicker.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if that was him before anyone tells me it wasn't him there.
Yeah, 6.5 then for Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
Lindelof and Maguire. I don't know if you want to give them the same rating or what. I'll let you choose. But if you're starting with one, we'll start with Lindelof. Obviously, a lot of people wanted Boye to come in. I myself was fearing Andy Carroll up against Lindelof or even Joe Linton against him. That didn't really happen, to be fair. So yeah, did you think he had a decent game overall?
Well, he didn't mess up, like specifically Lindelof messing up. So yeah, I don't think he kind of did himself any wrongdoings. I was surprised to see him in. I'm not gonna lie. I just thought after the way we kept a clean sheet as a team on Thursday that we would see Bailly keep his position, but we know that Ollie goes back and reverts to Lindelof and Maguire for the Premier League games. Average, not outstanding, but also not poor.
Yeah, I thought we looked constantly shaky at the back. I've got to be honest, and I mentioned on the ball, but even I don't know. We never trusted the back set pieces and whatnot as well. I thought Newcastle looked dangerous. Obviously, we conceded one as well. I'm tempted to say if we go slightly above average and go maybe a 6 for the both of them, if I'm honest. I think we can put them on a par. I don't think Harry Maguire was solely to blame for the goal. Like I say, I think you would expect your defender to head it further away, but it wasn't an easy header. And it's how we react to that, and simply we did not react to it. The overplaying at the back, though, I just do not like. And like I've already mentioned, we always thought we were going to give the ball away. Teams' press height was high, nick the ball back, high up the pitch, and that puts us at risk. So yeah, I don't know to say a 6 for both from Meg. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, I'd take that. I think I liked the fact that I like the fact that he didn't obviously make a mistake, which sounds going to sound stupid, but we have seen at times Maguire kind of put himself into danger, trying to shield the ball, get pushed off the ball, and he just didn't do it tonight. He kind of there were a couple of times where I thought, oh God, he's going to try it again, and he just passed it off. So perhaps learning from mistakes, which was a good thing to say. I'm not going to say that he was amazing again, but I just think the fact that he's made mistakes in the last few games, he didn't tonight.
Yeah, it's just the shakiness that I don't like. That's not even just from Maguire. That's from wholehearted to the back four and De Gea. Like you want to start with a core, don't you? And they say like it starts from your goalkeeper. You got to have that security and that confidence. I mean, we ain't got that. We have not got that. And like I said, De Gea is totally included. Alex, thank you so much for the super chat. It was my 31st birthday yesterday. Manchester United winning today. A nice little late birthday present. Luke Shaw may have been man of the match, but Dan James impressed too. A massive happy birthday for yesterday.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Had a good birthday, and thanks so much for tuning in and the contribution as well. And yeah, what a nice present. Like I said, the result was more important today, and we've ended up with the result, scoring 3 goals again, which is nice. And I completely agree with you. I thought Luke Shaw had a superb game, but Dan James really stood out as well, especially like the stick that he's had, and especially the fact that we didn't think that he would play in this game because it'll be one of them where it's going to be quite tight, he's not going to have space, and he played, and for me he was still really effective. So yeah, I'm really happy for Dan James as well, and we'll get onto his rating in a minute. Someone said no leaders, that's why no shouting. There was one, wasn't there? Was it Maguire and Fred, and had that little bit of a mix-up, and it could have ended badly. Luckily it didn't. And I do agree, I think there's a lack of communication at the back, and we've said it for a while now. Like Bruno seems to have that leadership. Maguire was automatically given the captaincy, and a lot of people wish that had not happened. But we do seem to lack that communication and that discipline at the back, definitely. And that's something that we do need to improve on. But we went with a defensive midfield pair, didn't we? A holding pair of... Oh, hang on, Luke Shaw. We haven't done Luke Shaw.
We've not done Luke Shaw. Don't miss him out.
Maybe I miss Luke Shaw out. Yeah, Luke Shaw left back. Again, solid game. And yeah, Tellez coming in has done wonders for him. It's his best season in the United shirt, isn't it, Meg?
100%. And he put some good crosses in, which normally we talk about Tellez and the fact that his delivery might just have a slight edge over Luke Shaw at times. But yeah, his delivery of the ball tonight was outstanding. Like I said, we like to attack on that left-hand side, and you can see why that partnership between Shaw and Rashford. Just another great, solid game off him.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a lot of 8s in the chat. We've got a 9 as well.
An 8 easily.
Yeah, I think I'll go with a solid 8 for Luke Shaw, to be fair. I think I'd have pushed him up to a 9 if he kept a clean sheet. And I'm not saying that he was at fault for the goal. I just think you kind of put the defenders down when we concede, and that sounds harsh, doesn't it? But that's how my head works anyway. But I think an 8's fair. Meg, are you agreed on that one?
Yeah, I'd take an 8 for him. So well, you're in the doghouse, Soph, because you missed out Meg's man. I was like ready to be like, Luke Shaw.
You know what it was? It's because I read Luke Shaw's name in a super chat and completely I just imagine that we just spoke about Luke Shaw when really we spoke about Luke Shaw because of the super chat, not because of the ratings. But yeah, my bad, guys. But we redeemed ourselves. I'm Blue, thank you for the super chat. I was never in doubt when I saw Lindelof started. Told you guys last stream, and look what happened. 3-1. To be fair, you are definitely the one in the chat who was always backing Lindelof. And fair play, we got the job done today. Like I say, it wasn't the most convincing, but I don't think Lindelof really did a lot wrong. And yeah, we got the 3 points, and that's what matters ultimately, isn't it? But yeah, Luke Shaw, superb game. In terms of midfielders, Meg, we'll start with Matic in that holding role. I mean, for me, it was just a bit slow at times. I don't think that helped our cause. Like we said, we got there in the end, but I felt like we could have maybe gone for it a bit more in the middle and changed it up. Would you say that Matic did his job in the end?
Yeah, I think he did his job. But like I said, I think if you had the choice, would I play Matic or McTominay? Or bring like McTominay back in, because I'm not saying that they're going to switch role, like role for role. I probably would put McTominay in there, but yeah, did his job. I agree with what's on the screen now. Good, but too slow. I wouldn't give him a 7. I'd give him less than that though. I'd probably give him a 6.
Yeah, I thought he was over, but like, there's many times where you wanted someone like McTominay would do. He just always bursting runs through midfield. You know what I mean? I feel like we really missed that kind of burst of energy from the middle today. But I'd say he did his job. I just felt like we had 2 people doing the same job with him and Fred, just to shore it up. And we didn't need that. I felt like we could have gone for it a bit more in the middle. And that's not necessarily his fault. He did his job. He did what Ollie asked him to do. But as a fan, and obviously, we felt like we needed something a bit different in the game. But I think he had a solid game. I do agree with the statement saying they felt he was a bit too slow at times. But it wasn't just him. I thought our football was far too slow. It was almost like we were relying on something individual, a bit of brilliance. And we got that from Rashford ultimately. But yeah, I think a 6.5, a 7 people are saying in the chat. I think I'm going to go with 6 for my
I'm laughing because Ian's put in about I'm Blue on the last stream was also talking about shrimps with spoons and snails with a stick. So not sure we could trust what he was saying.
True. It's true. That stream, I still can't get my head around the randomness. Like, I was laughing about it all night afterwards, thinking, where does people think of these questions from? But yeah, I'm going to say a 6, I think, for Matic. What about Fred then?
Just the annoying fact that when sometimes they pass the ball, it's so sloppy. And with Matic, actually, that first half, the pair of them couldn't string 2 passes together to save their life. Infuriating to watch, because last game we saw Fred split the defence with like a pinpoint pass, and then today he just kicks the ball out of play like twice without even looking. So it's infuriating because the fact that you know that he's not a player that is known for his pass, but he can do it. So if you can do it, don't just kick the ball out of play. Worked hard, but worked hard, but that's not enough when you kick the ball out of play. I keep replaying it in my head. It's very annoying.
It was almost like a Smalling clip, but he used to play over and over again on Twitter where he literally just boots it into Rose's head. That was similar to that one. That's one we're going to be watching like for years to come. It's going to keep coming up on memes and stuff. But someone said Eric said he was shocking today, and I said his passing is abysmal. Like I said,
one extreme to the other.
There's not many. I'd say there's not many midfielders who are as good as Fred at pressing and winning the ball back. But when he gets the ball, for me, he has to improve. Like, he's got to improve that. I wouldn't go as low as some people saying a below average game and like a 3 and a 4. I think he got similar to Matic, to be fair. I think I'd have probably given him around a 6. Wasn't the most overwhelming game, but like I say, winning the ball back and pressing, I think you can never knock his energy in there and his work rate. Like, Freddie's always grafting and always trying to make stuff happen and always trying to win the ball back. But like I say, when he's got the ball, that's where he really, really struggles, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's why I prefer him in the Matic role and then McTominay in the Fred role, because Fred does that the hard work of going. It's like we say it's like a little terror, like a little bulldog in the middle of the pitch. Like he's on people. Okay, he gives fouls away at times, and his tackling is a little bit suspect, but he does that hard work and the graft in there, and then release McTominay a little bit higher, because I just think the way that Fred passed today, if he's going to continue like that, it's not going to break any defences down.
Yeah, I agree. I think Andrew there 5.5. That's all. I was thinking 5.5 or 6. Someone said, Ryan said in the chat, I was being generous with a 6 for him. Maybe I'm being generous because we've won. I don't know. Maybe I am being a bit generous towards him. I mean, Meg, what was your like hand on heart initial rating for him? What did you think?
I've gone for a 6 or a 5.5.
We're going with a 6. We won. We're going with a 6. Yeah. That's why I'm grading it. Bruno Fernandes, a very quiet game, and he got an assist, if you want to call it an assist. Make that little toe on it again, which happened in a previous game. He got an assist for that as well. I don't think you can count that as an assist, but apparently it goes down as an assist. And obviously he got his penalty as well. But other than that, it was quite a game for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he's one of these players like Rashford that he can still make a difference when he's quiet. We said this about Rashford the other night. Scored, gets an assist, but we still think he's been quiet. Bruno, exactly the same. Been quiet, but still got a goal, still got an assist. At 80% of their performance rate, you can't complain about something like that. I think it's just the fact that players and teams are more aware of what he can do and kind of not play him out of the game. But if you can take a player out of the game without having to get him on the ball and then tackle him, but rather just crowd him out, then that's what you would do. And I think teams are getting used to doing that against him now, because they know how influential he is when he has the ball for us. But a 6.5.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think he gets the edge on the other two midfielders because, like you say, he got that goal and he got the assist. He was there or thereabouts, wasn't he? He still influences his game even though when he's not playing well. Alex said, I would have offered more than Fred tonight. Thank you for the super chat, Alex. If I want to replace anybody, you know the role I want Lee Grant's role. Did you see that tonight? He's there with the numbers board, and I was like, is that Lee Grant? And I think my head around it. And I just literally just holding the board up. I'd happily do that job, to be fair. But yeah, Bruno, I think like you say, for him it was a quiet game, but again, he's still involved, isn't he? He's still influencing the game in some way. So I think a 6.5 would be fair for Bruno. Someone got a 6.6, very, very precise. But yeah, 6.5, just ahead of the other two midfielders because of the influence that he had on the game. We'll start with Rashford. The first goal, by the way, what a goal. Individual brilliance. We said we rely on it a lot. We got it from Marcus Rashford. We did absolutely nothing up until that point, Meg. And that's why you keep him on the pitch, though, isn't it? Because he can just make something happen. Yeah,
and I just think he doesn't tire from doing it. Like, he gets you on your feet a little bit, doesn't he? I like those kind of players that you like. You know that he can create something. Naughty little bit of skill through his legs.
How many nutmegs today, by the way? Like, it was nutmeg central for Rashford today at Old Trafford. There were so many nutmegs.
But I just like the fact that he doesn't give up. Okay, he's not been on the top form of late, but he's still running at players, still getting his shots off, and it's paid off for him tonight. Okay, the keeper could have done better, but if you don't shoot, you don't score. And he's had a shot, and it's gone in. So I would give him a 7.5. I think he's just under Luke Shaw. I'd have said Luke Shaw because he was so solid that he would get my man of the match. Just because he's just a solid performance from Luke Shaw, and I'd give Rashford just a 0.5 below him.
7.5, and obviously, you are spot on there with what you're saying, that he won the penalty as well with a little cutback that he did. He did win the penalty as well. So again, Bruno, Rashford, they're prime examples of why Ollie keeps them on the pitch, because he knows they've got that moment in them, haven't they? Even though they might not be influencing the game or playing very well, they can just produce that something. And I think that's obviously why he keeps them on. But going on to the other side, Dan James, we just said how buzzing we were for him that he's got a goal. For me, he was up there as one of our standout performances tonight. I thought he had a really, really good game. I thought that he was constantly working hard, nicking the ball back, constantly trying to run further up higher up the pitch, try and run to the byline to get a cross in. And he didn't always beat his fullback, but to be fair, he rarely gave the ball away. I've got to be honest, he was conservative on the ball. He turned back in and would play the simple pass. He wouldn't try and force it. And he got a goal. I thought that he had a really positive game tonight, Dan James.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I think everyone's delighted for him because I think he came out this week and kind of said that it gives Ollie a bit of a headache because what do you do now? You've got a player that played really well midweek, and he grabbed this opportunity again with two hands. And that's what you want to see from players. If you get an opportunity, take it. And he is at the moment. He's had 2 games and he's got 2 goals. I think I'm just delighted for him because I think a player like that, with the way that he's kind of his journey at Manchester United kind of dipped a little bit, and I just think these last 2 games for him will be so important. And he's just proven a bit of haters wrong. So I think he's come under criticism at times that's been deserved because of the way that he's played. But like I said tonight, that shot that he scored from, I'm just glad that's gone in for him, because sometimes he just doesn't hit it hard enough. It's almost like a pass, but he just fully drilled that and it's gone straight in. So a 7.
I think it's going to be in the top 3 ratings, like 100%.
Do you push for 7.5? No, I'll give him a 7. I think
I'm going to give him a 7.5. I'm pushing him. To be fair, for me, he's running Luke Shaw for man of the match. I've got to be honest. Personally, Dan James is up there as a contender for man of the match for me. I just thought he got a goal, he influenced the game, he's pressing. He just looked hungry, like you say, Meg. He grabbed the chance with both hands. He looked hungry. He didn't shy from the ball. He wanted to get on it. He did a few runs where he beat 1 or 2 men breaking through the midfield. He just had that injection of pace that I felt we lacked at certain times. I just thought I'm going to push him up 7.5. I'm going to push him up there.
I'll go 7.5.
We had a really positive game.
Curtis has called me mean for a second. Sorry. I just thought, he's not. He did well. There you go. He did well.
He did really well. Don't be a hater, Meg. You did well.
No hate.
Nash, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you're doing well, and thank you for the support. I'm Blue. Thank you for the contribution. It says, what's wrong with relying on individual performances? Barca rely on Messi, and Real used to rely on CR7, and Man City rely on De Bruyne and Aguero and Sterling. Well, De Bruyne hasn't even been playing the last few weeks when Man City have gone on this mad run of form. Has been injured, so they're obviously not relying on that individual. The thing with us is at least City, they've got a way of playing, they've got a system. You can see that they're trying certain phases of play. With us, it looks a bit clueless up until Rashford goes on that mad run, or Pogba does something special, or Bruno does something. Do you know what I mean? It's where's the phase of play? Where are we heading with this? Even it's passing out from the back, I just feel like we're playing ourselves into trouble at times. And I just question the system, and I think that's what it is. I think sometimes we come up against a low block team, or we come up against a team who's sitting, and it's almost where do we go from here then? And if someone does, Bruno's shinner against West Brom, which was a great goal, by the way, but he hit him on the shin. But if that didn't happen, do you know what I mean? Where else is the goal coming from? I just can't. That's what I'd say that we struggle with. Where's that piece of magic coming from when we're coming against these teams who sit in? Would you agree with that, Meg?
Yeah, I do. I also do agree, with the comments on the screen now, because sometimes it's not about a whole team performance. It's about just getting points. And if you've got a player that will go and get you the points, then that's an incredible thing to have in a team that will literally go out and get points for you. I just think at times, though, we let ourselves down in terms of defensively. So we might have a player I'm not saying that we've got a Messi or Ronaldo, but someone that will go and do a worldie strike and get you a goal, and then we'll let the team back in stupidly because of our own downfall at the back.
Yeah.
But if we have to rely at times on individual performances, then we do, as long as we keep these players fit and in the team.
I agree. And I just think even if City, for example, you mentioned Sterling, De Bruyne, Aguero, if one of them isn't playing, I guarantee one of the other 2 pops up with something. Do you know what I mean? That's how they work. Sterling, on many occasions, has been that guy to pop up. And I think for us, we have Bruno Fernandes. But if Bruno Fernandes isn't firing on all cylinders, we need that extra something from somebody else. And today, for example, it was Rashford who did that, wasn't it? I just feel like you say, Meg, it's important we keep the key players fit and keep our key players performing. But at the same time, I think we need a bit of a contingency. When it's not going well, how do we switch it up? And I thought Greenwood coming on today freshened it up, I thought he looked really sharp when he came on. But yeah, Dan James, 7.5 is what we're going for. What about Martial up front then, Meg? A poor game, to say the least. And that is me being generous, by the way.
Yeah, it just wasn't a great game for him. Looked slow, a bit lethargic.
Yeah.
No kind of spark. I said, it was too predictable. easy to defend against. But I think that he didn't. When you are defending against a player like that, if they keep doing the same thing, it's only going to have the same result. And I think he just kept trying the same thing, and it didn't. He needed to kind of do something unexpected, try and throw the defence off a little bit.
Yeah. So the ratings, you've got 2, 3s, 4.5 there. 4, Martial was even playing. 2.75, a 3, and that's being generous. A 1 by Nippon. A 3. I mean, normally we say a 5 obviously is an average score. Meg, do you think that he is the only player tonight who's going to get below that average score?
Yeah. I'm going to go as low as a 1. I think if you have like a 1 out of 10, you're getting sent off. You scored no goal. You have, having.
I think this is fair.
But the fact that he was just predictable and just so, I don't want to say he was like boring to watch, but do something different. Do you know what I mean? Like, all you're doing is doing exactly the same thing all the time. It's so easy to defend against. Just mix it up a little bit, even if the front 3 had mixed up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I said it before at the start, during the season, that at times, especially when Cavani plays and with Greenwood, that they naturally kind of swap. So if a player like Cavani drops in, you'll see Greenwood move. I didn't really kind of see that. And when you've got players that can do it, and then you've got players that don't do it, then it's obvious to see. I'm going to give him a 3.5.
Yeah, I agree.
Too harsh on him.
I agree with the people in the chat saying he didn't get much service. So I agree with that. But for me, like, and someone said just when Greenwood came on, automatically, like, he had more energy, he looked hungrier to get into the box, he has more desire to get on the end of things. With Martial, it's all a bit one-paced. I think I saw it on Twitter clip in the first half where Dan James put a ball in. And don't get me wrong, Dan James's ball, like, he was aimless, he was just hopeful. He just drilled it in, didn't he? But Martial's literally jogging. And I'm thinking you should be literally breaking your neck to try and get into the box to get on the end of that. And it's like there's no desire there. And I do think that comes down to his lack of confidence. He doesn't believe that he's going to get on the end of it. He's in there. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a confidence thing. But I do agree with the energy statement there from Ryan that he just ambled around, didn't really grab the game by the scruff of the neck. He had, like I say, he had one good chance where he cut on his right. It was a great little turn, good run, and a decent shot that was saved by Darlow. But other than that, you kind of did forget that he was playing a little bit, didn't you, Meg? And I do think when Greenwood came on, he offered a bit more, like I say, he had that desire to get into the box. He'd come short and get the ball, he'd pull out wide. His movement is just better. And I can't help but say at the minute that Martial looks a bit disinterested. And I do think, though, that comes down to his confidence. Yeah,
I think he's just struggling with it. And I think, but mentally wise, you've got to be able to block it out. It must be difficult as a striker if you're not doing what you're put on the pitch for. I mean, I've never been a striker, so I would never have a clue. But as a defender, if you keep conceding, you're not doing the job that you're on the pitch to do, and it's disheartening. And I think perhaps that's what it is for Martial at the moment, that he's just not got that confidence.
Yeah,
and it does knock you.
It's hard, isn't it? Because you want him to do so well. We've already mentioned his ability. We know what a talent he is, but you can't help but question the mentality there. Like, obviously, you saw it when Zlatan came in, you saw it when Lukaku came in, you've seen it when Cavani came in. Like, when there's competition for him, I don't know what it is, but his mentality just seems to change, doesn't it? But I do feel for him as well. I don't think the service was great to him. I felt like we were playing far too slow in behind him today as well, which was frustrating. But I don't know what Martial. I just hope that it turns around for him and we get to see the real Tony Martial, the one that we know we're capable of seeing. Because I do fear that if he carries on like this, he's not going to be enjoying playing like this. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. You know what I mean? And I do fear that he's always one player that said that if we let him go to another team, we'll regret it. But we can't just keep ambling along like this. Something's got to give, hasn't it? I'm Blue. Thank you for the super chats. I can't blame him too much. He's been getting so much stick these last few weeks. I wouldn't enjoy playing over if it was me. But that's the question, then, is it? If his confidence is so shot, which it does look that way, does Ollie need to take him out to the firing line then? And because obviously Ollie's been known to be that. We've seen it with Lindelof. We've seen it with many players in the past, where he's loyal to the players. Pogba was another example where he stood by the players and he played them through their bad form or played them through the tough comments they were getting. De Gea is another example as well. Martial, do you think he's just that different type of player, Meg, where maybe a few days out of the limelight would suit him better?
Perhaps that is what is needed. You've got to protect your players. And listen, I just hope we don't wake up tomorrow morning or even before we get off this stream that I see what is coming towards him. And like, there's no need for it at all. And I just hope to God that by the time we come off this stream, there isn't a notification to say that he's had racial abuse against him. He's just not playing with confidence, and that's it. As soon as he finds a way to build on confidence, whether you do take him out and he comes back in, whether you say, okay, go and play in the Europa League game that we've got coming up where the pressure's off a little bit, with the scoreline that we've got going into that game, and hopefully with the pressure off, you might see a little bit of a change from him. But it'll be interesting to see how Ollie handles this situation.
Yeah,
this is where we'll find out about Ollie as a manager, won't we?
Yeah, I'm not sitting here and saying, look, we need to sell Martial. So I'm not. I mean, I've seen some fans saying that. I'm not berating him and saying that. I'm saying that to get the best out of him, where do we go from there? Because it's obvious that he's not enjoying his football at the minute. He's not playing very well. He's struggling for confidence. Is it a case where you put him back onto that left-hand side, which then means Rashford, who actually scored today and had a decent game, would then be moved out of position? Do you know what I mean? Like, what does Ollie do from here? With Cavani not being fit as well, that means he's got less strikers to choose from. I mean, Greenwood proved that he came on. Like, maybe he should have started tonight. And I'm not criticising Ollie and saying he got it wrong, because I feel like Ollie's trying to stand by his player and trying to almost play him through that bad form. Do you know what I mean? But it's obviously not working at the minute, and it's what needs to happen next. And like I say, I'm a Martial fan. I think he's a very talented player. But there's no doubt about it, like, something's got to change. What's happening at the moment isn't good enough. And I agree with Meg, the racial abuse that players have been getting is disgusting. That should not happen. And something needs to happen to stop that from happening. I completely agree. And maybe Martial is struggling with that as well, what has been going on, which is understandable, isn't it? But I just feel like you say, he needs protecting, doesn't he? He needs protecting, and Ollie needs to really think what he's going to do with him next, really. And David, just spot on, Newcastle, especially in that first half, they really came at us, didn't they? They looked composed on the ball. They had more shots than us, looked more dangerous than us, even though we had a lot of possession. They were compact. They pressed as well. And yeah, like you say, I think Newcastle had a really good game, and ultimately we scraped through. I wouldn't say that we played exceptionally well. I'd say we scraped through this one. But
we need to be better. Definitely.
Yeah, the result was more important, wasn't it, tonight for us, I think. So obviously having Europe in the week as well, I think it was more a case of just getting this one done and dusted, and luckily we've managed to do that. But with the players who came on, I mean, I've mentioned Greenwood, Meg, so we'll start with that one. How did you think that Greenwood did today?
Good, like we've already said, the fact that he came on with a bit of energy, mixed up a little bit. But he's a player that hasn't scored in a long time, so he's lacking in confidence, but he just still works hard. Maybe it's just his age and the fact that, he's still trying to prove to people that he's able to play at this level still. Yeah. I know we all see it, but because of his age, he's still young. But 6'5".
Yeah, I think I thought he looked sharp. He was positive. He was getting in the box, trying to get to the end of things. He just, and the energy that he brought as well. He just looked lively when he came on the pitch. He entered there a 7. Alex said a 6.5.
When you come on as a sub, that's what you got to be like with Greenwood, like buzz about a little bit, and just try and get involved. Yeah, which is difficult when you come onto a pitch as a sub. It's not easy to just slot right in. So worked hard, really. Yeah,
young Shola came on as well, obviously for his debut, which a lot of people wanted to happen, obviously midweek, and it didn't happen. I'm so happy that it happened today, and he didn't have much time to make an impact, so I'm not going to sit here and give him a grade, but I wanted to give him a special mention. How good did it make to have another young prospect come on the pitch there?
No, but he's 17, so he's 17. I can't even remember what I was doing at 17, but the majority of people do not play for Manchester United at 17, do they? Let's face it, the very minute percentage of people gets to play at this level.
It does look
is like baby faced, bless him. But it's great that at Manchester United, at our club, that we're bringing players through the academy and we're putting them into a first team situation. It's amazing to see. I just hope that this next generation of talent that we've got coming through, they look incredible. The way that they play under 23 is
I'm happy that
I hope it's something special for him.
He must have been gutted midweek when he saw Ahmed come on, and he sat there thinking, oh man, I wish I was going on as well. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad that it was the reverse today and he got on. I still wanted to see more of Ahmed, but I'm glad that he got on for his debut. But I agree, I'm not going to sit here and scrutinise and rate him. I think that's unfair on the time that he had. I just want to say 10 out of 10 for the fact that he got on the pitch, and I'm absolutely buzzing for him.
Man of the match.
Yeah, and I just hope that we get to see more of him. So yeah, really happy for him. And then of course, last but not least, is a fan favourite, Juan Mata. Came on again, didn't really have a lot to do, Meg, in the time that he was given, did he?
No, it's nice to see him back in and around the squad. I don't overly know why he hasn't been around. He kind of just faded out for a bit, but yeah, nice to see. That's kind of like two subs coming on. You've got a Davey for short time, and then you've got Mata who's been around for a while. It's kind of nice just to see the experience and then the new players coming through. But it's great to get them both on the pitch.
Yeah, and I think for Mata as well, I think you'd probably just give him an average score. And it sounds harsh to say a 5, but I just don't think he had a lot to do when he came on, did he? But massive Mata fan, and like you say, I'm glad that he's in and around the squad. I think his experience is crucial. The same with Matic as well, to be fair. And they might not have the legs, but they've got an extra yard in the head, haven't they? They're that kind of player, especially Mata, really intelligent player. And I'm just happy that he's there or thereabouts again. He didn't do anything wrong. He did not do anything wrong. I would like to see Greenwood keep his head up and look to find a pass instead of always looking for goal. Yeah, he does. He does like to shoot a lot, Meg. I think at the minute as well, because he hasn't had a goal for a while as well. I think he's extra keen, especially today coming on. Like, he's obviously going to be keen to try and get a goal. But you don't want to take that away from your centre forward as well. I like that about Greenwood. I like his hunger and his desire to try and get a goal. And how many times have you seen him take a snapshot where he took it early and it's caught the keeper off guard? Do you know what I mean? And I think that he is.
I am going to go back against this one though, because not this game, but Europa League game, Dan James's offside goal that was disallowed.
Yeah,
Greenwood was running through and he did get his head up and he squared it to him. So I get what you get. I get it that there are times that he could have passed, but he has had a shot. But I also think Harry Kane's a player like that. He shoots from anywhere and everywhere, and look how many goals he's got because he's caught a goalkeeper off guard. So sometimes you want them to be a little bit selfish, but I do feel like he's bringing that into his game where he is more intelligent at the time that he should be.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Meg, I'm not going to forget to give him a rating this time, so I keep forgetting. I'm not going to forget it. And obviously in the chat, guys, let me know as well what you think. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like I say, we've got the job done today. I don't think we needed the 2 defensive midfielders. I feel like that kind of held us back a bit. But other than that, job done.
Job done, 3 points, a 7.
You think a 7?
Yeah, I think I agree with you with the two in the middle, but with McTominay out and Van der Beek out, who really else would you put in there? So and Pogba's out, so
yeah, I think a 7 is fair. To be fair, like you say, got the job done. Nippon said 7. Yeah, 7's 6 from curlers. Ollie was an average. You can't say average when we won. we literally won.
Would you want him to get on the pitch and score?
I think if you draw, then you'd probably say average, but I think the fact we won, I think it deserves above average. 7 is good. 7, right? Looks like we're agreed on number 7. Number 7 for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 7 out of 10 rating. Job done, and we move on. And like you say, Meg, we've got a sticky run of games coming up. I'm glad that we can rest a lot of players for the second leg in Europa, because that would help with our fitness and keeping players fresh and whatnot. But a tricky few games coming up. And guys, everyone in the chat, please make sure you put a like on the video. We really appreciate your support. If we have missed your comments, obviously just drop it on the video afterwards. And of course, we'll reply there. Meg, as always, I mean, in particular when we win, but it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed it. And on to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one. We move. I know everyone says that after a loss. It's easy to say after a win, though, isn't it? Like we've done it. We've got, like we said, it wasn't all about the performance. We have to be better in the next few games, but we've got 3 points, and that's really all that mattered today.
Yeah, definitely. And then Ryan, you know what? We'll end on this one because we haven't touched on the women's team. But Meg, what's your thoughts on it? It is right. There's been a few disappointing results of late. Do you think it's kind of, I mean, we've got a few injuries as well, obviously. Lauren James tweeted a picture of her boots the other day saying she's back, which is good news for us. But yeah, I think injuries have kind of been a bit of a burden, haven't they? Obviously, so Liv Galton, one of our main players the other day, went down as well, injured. Hopefully that's not too serious. But do you think that's what it is at the minute? I mean, obviously, United at the start of the season, I don't think that winning the title would have been their first priority, would it? But the fact that they're all thereabouts is still credit to the ladies. Yeah,
definitely. I think the fact that we are where we are, we probably overachieved almost, because the way that the women's league is, you'd probably say like Man City, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
Yeah,
talent-wise, have probably got more in abundance than we have. I think the international break now that we've got is going to help us a little bit, just try and get the squad back together a little bit. But yeah, we'll say disappointing in the last few weeks, but I think it was bound to happen at some point in the season. It's kind of how we respond after we all come back together after this international break that'll be crucial as to where our season finishes.
Definitely, 100%. But obviously, we still fully behind the ladies' team, and I'm sure, like the international, like you say, this could have come at a really good time. To be fair for them, so hopefully after that we bounce back, and and like mentioned there, hopefully Toonie and Millie get their debuts on Tuesday as well. That would be nice to see, wouldn't it? But Meg, if you just want to shout out your socials, obviously I have put your Twitter on the screen there. But if you want to shout out where people can find you, make sure you go and follow Meg, please, people.
I am at Megan Cam with an underscore, and I will be back on hairdryer treatment as always.
Yeah, more
Thanks
content
for having me on.
Next week, definitely. Me and Megan will be back, more content. Ladies in Red obviously is back and booming as well. If you haven't seen Ladies in Red from Friday, if you want to laugh and you want to talk about something random, check out Friday's show. I definitely recommend that. But until we are back on, guys, keep smiling, stay positive, have a brilliant week ahead, and keep an eye out for the tweets and whatnot, for the notifications on YouTube, and you'll see when we are on air next. But until then, guys, take care, keep smiling. 3 points, like Meg said, we move.